Hello, my dear viewers, my well-wishers, patrons, and my students. I have the privilege to discuss with you John Millington Synge's one-act play, The Riders to the Sea. Riders to the Sea is a one-act play, and it was written by John Millington Synge, the disciple of W.B. Yeats, and he wrote this play on the fisherman community, their daily life, their miseries and sufferings, their tragedies of life. And in this play, you know that Maurya is the only tragic character, and she turns herself to be the universal mother. She had all her husband's father, and the sons like Seamus and Patch, Stephen and son, Michael and Bartley. All were devoured or swallowed by the sea of Aran Island. They are bound to go to the sea for their survival, for their sustenance, and she is the determiner of the fate. And she has swallowed, she has devoured all the characters. And Maurya, at the end of the play, begs for mercy. Let the Almighty God have mercy on the souls of all who are living in this world. Therefore, Riders to the Sea is really a rare type of tragedy. Here the hero or the heroine is not of high stature. Here the heroine Maurya is the only tragic character, and she belongs to the fisherman community. Therefore, John Millington Synge has shown that a very humble character can also be the tragic hero or heroine. She is neither Macbeth or Lady Macbeth, nor Desdemona, nor Cleopatra, etc. She belongs to a very poor fisherman community. She is the only source of living, and she determines their fate. And in this way, Maurya has lost her husband's father, and the sons like Seamus and Patch, Stephen and son, Michael and Bartley. And those who live are Kathleen and Nora, the two sisters, because they are female characters and they will not, or they would not go to the sea for fishing. Clear? Now, what is a tragedy? Actually, tragedy is nothing but human suffering, miseries, downfall, etc., owing to the character's tragic flaw. And what is tragic flaw? Actually, tragic flaw is flaw that he himself or she herself does it knowingly or unknowingly. For example, Lady Macbeth was a lady of high ambition, and her only target was the throne of Scotland. And that was her tragic flaw. And by the valor of her tongue, she chastised her husband to kill Duncan. To kill Duncan, and it was her tragic flaw, and one murder was enough. But they had to, both husband and wife, kill one after another. That brought about their tragedy. So, we look at them with wonder, with surprise. We are the common people, ordinary people, but there, the people of high stature, and they became the victims of fate. But that fate is created by themselves. Clear? And in the Greek tragedies, you know that there is no tragic flaw of a character. Tragic flaw of a character, because here fate plays major role, all baffling all human efforts. Baffling all human efforts. My dear viewers, my patrons and well-wishers, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and easy step to English grammar. I am discussing literature and tragedy. Tragedy. I fervently hope that if this live streaming comes to your help, you must subscribe my channel and easy step to English grammar, because it is going to be a very important live streaming. However, what is the main theme of Greek tragedies? In Greek tragedies, there is no tragic flaw of a character. Here, fate plays major role of baffling all human efforts. You have nothing to do. You should have only endurance, and fate has written that you will have to go through miseries and sufferings and downfall. Sometimes extreme miseries. As for example, in Antigone, Sophocles, written by Sophocles, in Antigone, Oedipus Tyrannus, in Oedipus Tyrannus, Oedipus's fate was written by an invisible hand, and Oedipus could not escape. What is the reason? The reason is that Oedipus was destined to kill his own father and marry his own mother. And they had their sons and daughters like Eathocletus, Polynices, and Antigone. And you see that Oedipus had nothing to do. When blind Tiresias predicted that Oedipus in future would be the killer, the murderer of his father thrown him away from the hill, but he was picked up by the shepherds and he was brought up. But he became the leader of a party and killed his father and married his mother unknowingly. This is the greatest tragedy ever written by anybody else in Greek. Clear? So there is the difference between Shakespearean tragedy and Greek tragedy. But here you see, my dear friends, in John Millington Synge's Riders to the Sea, all the characters are very poor. They are an impoverished class. They depend upon the sea for their survival and sustenance. Clear? But all of them lost their lives on the sea. This is the greatest tragedy in their lives. And it is, and they have no tragic flaw. They have no tragic flaw. Neither Seamus, nor Patch, nor Stephen, nor Son. Clear? All have no tragic flaw. But they had to die. And the only tragic character is Maurya. The only tragic character is their mother, Maurya, because she lives alone with her two daughters. And now, after the death of Butley and Michael, they had nothing to eat, only rotten fish. Only rotten fish. They had nothing to eat. Now, let me analyze just one question. And every day I shall give you some questions because it is in your fourth semester and marks allotted 5. Very important question I am discussing. What is the setting? Now the question is, what is the setting of the one-act play, Riders to the Sea, written by John Millington Synge? What is the setting? When the play opens, what is the setting? Now let us discuss. I have already made a lesson plan for you. These questions and answers are very, very, very important for your fourth sem exam. I promise. You see that I am discussing setting of the play. My first question. John Millington Synge has used 3 settings. Hello, my viewers. Those who have participated in my class are being requested to like at least, to comment, to share, and at least subscribe, so that I may be encouraged and enthused to give you the most important questions and answers. Let us discuss, let us share my ideas, because I was a teacher for about I had been a teacher for about 37 years. As an English teacher, I worked, and that is why, from my experience, I am sharing my ideas. John Millington Synge has used three settings in the plot, like location, atmosphere, location, atmosphere, and specific setting. Location, atmosphere, and specific setting. Clear? The play is set on Aran Island. The first location is Aran Island. Clear? Off the west coast of Ireland. Aran Island off the west coast of Ireland. The atmosphere emphasizes on the completely isolated life of islanders. Completely isolated life of the islanders from the mainstream of life. From the mainstream of life, they are completely separated. They are completely isolated. Clear? And their continuous struggle against the unforgiving sea. Sea is always unforgiving. The sea has no mercy. The sea is merciless. The sea lacks pity or sympathy. Clear? And their continuous struggle against the unforgiving sea. The life of the fishermen depends upon the mood of the sea. The life of the islanders or fishermen depends upon the mood of the sea. Synge has realistically, that is, John Millington Synge has realistically and vividly captured the dialect and poetic language of this rural Irish community. Rural Irish community. Clear? Based on his experiences there, because John Millington Synge lived many years in the Aran Islands among the fishermen community. Clear? Among the fishermen community. So, the specific setting of the play, and when the play opens, the specific setting of the play is a cottage. Is a cottage consisting of a kitchen. The cottage consists of a kitchen and a workroom. A kitchen and a workroom. This is the setting of the play, right as to the sea, in brief. So, let us stop here. I have discussed the theme, the main theme or the story of Right as to the Sea, the difference of tragedy, the tragedy between Shakespeare and Greeks, Shakespearean tragedy and Greek tragedy, and this tragedy Right as to the Sea. And I have discussed today only one question and answer That is the setting of the play. And my request is that again you must go through the live streaming again for your preparation in the fourth semester. Good night. Stay safe. Stay well.